Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're on the move with Joanna Ward. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm from Atlanta, Kirkwood specifically, and we call it the hood. Now, just to be clear, sometimes when people say the hood, people think that that's negative. It's simply short for neighborhood. And before we get started with our workout, I have a special guest returning to teach us how horses can heal the kids in the hood. Daryl Fletcher, come on up and join me. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
I had to make sure we were clear about the hood because,
yes.
the news and television doesn't really tell. Instead of saying neighborhood, we say hood.
Sometimes it has a negative connotation. I'm glad you cleared that up for us. And so, yes, that's awesome.
So we're going to talk about how this can help us with the issues that we do have in the hood. It's not that we don't have issues everywhere. Don't get it twisted. But specifically in our hoods. And so we're going to talk more about that after we do this warm up here in this workout. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
So we're going to start out here. We're going to rock. Since we do this for the hood. We're doing this one for the hood right here. I mean, it ain't hard hood. It's kind of soft hood, right?
Like you said, it's the neighborhood.
The neighborhood. Short for neighborhood. And we're coming here, we're warming up those quads like we're running, but we're not, no impact, okay?
No.
Rocking to the side. And two, and to the two, and to the right. Swing with it. One thing we ain't lacking is rhythm in the hood. We ain't lacking.
There's a dance that I can't remember.
There's a dance that goes in the
I can't think of the name of the dance, but
it's something like this.
It's something very similar.
Well, it's all variations.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this 2 more times. 2 more times on the right. 2 more times on the left, and we're gonna do it 1 time right. 1 time.
Are we dipping?
Kinda, sorta, yeah.
Okay.
Do what you do. This is on the move.
The thing about it is, when you ride on a horse, your quads are very important.
Oh, really?
Yes, very important.
I didn't know that.
People often think that, you're just sitting down on the horse.
Okay.
But the lower part of your body is used a lot when you're riding the horse. So it gives you an opportunity to understand your balance.
See,
we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
That's exactly. Let's take it here. Since we're gonna use these legs on the horse, so take it out. And you can touch your knee here or your toe. How low can you go? Can you touch your toe?
I'm 6'7", so
wow.
Getting down there, not always the easiest thing, but okay.
We'll go to the knees. Let's go to the knees then. Let's go to the knees.
I can get there. It's just gonna take me longer to get back up.
I know. I think my tallest friend is like, maybe he's 6'10".
6'10", yeah.
He's the only one that's 6'10". Everybody else is under 6'6". 4 more. We're gonna do it to hill digs. 3, 2, last one. It's very intentional. Kind of a pop with it. Now, if you just want to do it nice and dignified, you can go here.
Let's pop it.
You like to pop it? Oh, yeah, they taught me a lot. Kirkwood, baby. Before Tiger Woods. And South Carolina State reinforced it. We fear no evil, no matter where it comes from. 4 to doubles. 3, 2, last single. We're gonna double here. Good job. 4 more sets. 3, 2, last one. Singles. I done stumped my shoelace unloosed.
I'm glad I'm in a little bit of shape.
A little bit, you have to be. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
All right, thank you so much. I'm gonna tie my shoe.
Go ahead, go on get you.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work with something that I don't think a lot of people work with.
Okay.
I bought you one.
Okay.
You're gonna grab that and your foam roller.
Okay.
So this is a foam roller.
Okay.
We're just gonna hold this band on our wrist.
Okay.
So we're gonna use it in a second.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold on to our foam roller.
Okay.
And we're gonna use it to stabilize.
Okay.
So if you start, moving it, we're gonna go kick here and here, just for stability.
Okay.
Ready?
My legs can't get that high.
If you can't go that high, just do this. But what I want you to feel comfortable with is having something there. If it's not a chair, a foam roller, or whatever it is.
All right.
You got it?
Let's get it. Somebody taking a break over there.
Somebody taking a break. You're like, I'm over here suffering and she's over there. I know shoelaces. Okay, let's do 8 more of these. Again, so if you can't get quite this high, you can go here. Just bend the knee, because we want to make sure that we're engaging the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, everything working for our good, okay? 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to stand here still, and we're going to kick back, bring it up. Kick back, bring it up. Good job. Again, this is here for balance, so that we don't fall over and that we feel comfortable about the move that we're making. Just extra support and stability. Good job. Now we're gonna get creative. 1 hand on, 1 hand off. 1 hand on, 1 hand off. Excellent, way to go, Fletcher.
Hey man, this ain't my first rodeo now.
This not your first rodeo? I know that's right. You've been doing rodeos for what, 20 years, you say? 2 decades.
Something like that.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good job. Way to work with your foam roller.
Hey man. All right, what we got?
We got a left hand on the foam roller. We're gonna take this band here, pull, pull, pull. Try to keep that foam roller still.
Oh man.
Right. It's a little bit high. It's multi-working. So we have to work at keeping the foam roller stabilized, as well as getting that resistance in the right arm. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna switch hands. Again, stabilizing that foam roller. Left now. If you need a foam roller, you can go to joannaWardFitness.com. We have plenty. There you go. 6 more. 2, and 1. Good job. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually put the foam roller on, the band on the right leg.
Okay.
We're gonna use this foam roller to, again, stabilize ourselves.
Okay.
You're gonna lean down. I know you're tall. You already told me that. We're gonna pull up here from the shoulder. Keep that hand here, and down. Pull in. Good job. And you wanna pull all the way up, squeeze your glutes, tighten up your abs when you come up.
Should my knees be straight or bent?
Your knees should be straight. Because we want all this work to go in the upper torso. Let's do 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're not gonna switch just yet. We're actually gonna keep it on there.
Okay.
You're gonna bring it around, put it on the left side.
Oh boy. All right, what we got?
All right. Yeah, we're gonna get that roller in the middle. And we're gonna right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now you can, of course, do this without the foam roller, but for those of you who need a little bit more support and you feel more comfortable with something to hold you and you don't have a chair, or you outside, or you just wanna put that foam roller to use, you can do these. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. We're gonna take the right leg out. Keep the left leg on there. We're gonna do the same thing on the left. Right hand is stabilized on the foam roller. Legs are straight, up and down torso rolls. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna do it again. Both legs. gonna be in that band, in those bands, like so. And this time we're gonna actually hop and do a little squat, since you said it takes a little bit to ride the horse. So we're gonna squat in. And we're using the foam roller for stabilization. Good job. Getting that extra resistance. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. How's that?
I'm good, baby.
I can ride a horse with that, right?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm gonna show you an exercise that we use when we're teaching people how to ride.
Okay.
So, the roller here, legs spread, and then this would represent you holding the reins of the horse, but we use that stabilization, right? And so when we're doing what we call a move a post, it's just a squat. And so when you're doing this right here, the horse has 4 legs.
Yeah.
So every 4th beat, your butt hits the seat and keeps you in rhythm with the horse.
4.
We call it post.
3, 2, and butt hit the thing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Butt hit the saddle.
Yep, butt hits the saddle.
Okay.
Right in that rhythm, just like that.
And sit.
Yeah, and you can sit in there, just kind of stretch it out. And so, even my students just to engage all their leg muscles, because most of the time what happens is they try to use their hands for balance.
Yeah.
But teaching them how to use their legs for balance.
That's what's up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now
Hey,
we know
my
what
pleasure.
happens. That whole thing, we're cool down now. Thank you. Okay, now I think I have that little 4, 3, 2, 1 saddle thing. But we're gonna learn more about that in a second. We're gonna take some deep breaths here. And so what we're trying to find out is how much healing we can find in these horses. And so we're cooling down to Juanita Bynum's piece, because without it, it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter who goes with you. It doesn't matter who goes away from you. If you don't have peace, you really have vexation. It's no middle ground. It's no middle ground. If you have peace, you don't. And oftentimes we think peace is all about the absence of chaos and confusion, but actually peace is peace regardless. If you have chaos or confusion, if you have comfort and cultivation, and you have people who support you, peace is peace. Peace doesn't change just because the circumstances and people change. It's one of the gifts that God gives us. It's one of the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. And so I hope today that you find that peace. It's shalom, and it's a gift from God through Jesus Christ. And it's only found in Him. You can drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever you want to do, but true peace can only come through Jesus Christ. So we're stretching those saddle legs that we just got. We're getting ready to go change our clothes and clean up here a little bit. And I want you, while you go get your water and your pen and your paper, think about peace. Forgiving somebody from your past, even yourself. And we'll be right back. Don't let anybody take your peace. It's priceless. Protect it at all costs. It belongs to you. God gave it to you through Christ. We'll be back with Daryl Fletcher after this break. Welcome back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that you guys loved that 1, 2, 3, 4 sit that Daryl Fletcher showed us. And so we also told you guys that hood wasn't bad.
Exactly.
Just a short for neighborhood. And
exactly.
So today we have Daryl back in his gear for riding horses.
Sometimes, yeah.
And he's going to tell us about how to help the kids in the hood.
So, Sofa Ranch, we have an initiative called Horses Healing the Hood. And Horses Healing the Hood is our initiative. The goal is to basically expose young people who are in elementary, junior high, and high school
to the healing benefits of horses. Healing maybe emotionally, mentally, even in some cases physically, getting them to move around. So we have traveled all over the metro Atlanta area in bringing our horses to these particular schools. We've been in, like I said, we've been in high schools, we've been in situations where there are children who have muscular dystrophy and getting them in certain movements. So when it comes to horses, there's different categories of what we may consider therapeutic and what we actually consider as therapy. And so any activity that a person may be around the horse is what we call equine assisted activities. So equine assisted activity could include simply brushing a horse, but that simply brushing a horse, once again, we talked about how horses can mirror our heart rate. And so if we're walking with a child or working with a child and they're brushing the horse and we start talking about some emotional things with them and that horse just relaxes or maybe drops its head because they're getting in tune with that particular person, now we have an opportunity for that child, once again, to be more aware of their emotions, what's going on with them emotionally and even mentally. But if we match that particular experience with a mental health professional, we have moved from the category of therapeutic to actual therapy. And on many instances, when we go to these schools, we have our mental health professional. We have a resident mental health professional that comes to the ranch or works with us in many different situations where now we can begin to, let's say that child just starts crying. Now, once again, we can address a particular issue specifically and turn that particular therapeutic session into an actual therapy session. So one of the things, the reason why we started doing this is because we are in a rural area in the metro Atlanta area. And a lot of times people would call and say, hey, I want to bring my child to where you are. And they look at it and they'll Google it and they'll say, oh my gosh, you're an hour away. And so we didn't want our distance or our being in a rural area to be a hurdle or a barrier for people to come and experience or just experience the healing power of horses. So we said, you know what, rather than you coming to us, guess what? We'll come to you and give you the opportunity to experience these horses. So we have 3 therapeutic horses that we take to these schools. They brush them, they walk around. We may give them affirmations to say while they're walking around with the horse. And so one of the affirmations that we just simply say is I am a leader. And so now that gives a subconscious message of you being a leader. You're leading around this 1,400-pound animal and you're going around these cones and the horse is responding to you. The horse is not trying to overtake you or run you over or the child over. And now the horse gets understanding about boundaries. They get a better understanding about respect. They get a better understanding about limitations. And so with that, putting the horses or bringing the horses to these particular environments gives us the space and the capacity to expose the young people to what horses can actually do for them.
Very interesting. And so if I had a school or a church or something like that, you're saying that we would set up some type of situation to where we could, and you guys do it 7 days a week? Or
7 days. Well, I would say 6 days a week. We don't work on Mondays.
Okay.
And then on Saturdays we pretty much try to stay where we are from the standpoint of people coming to us. But Sundays coming up. In the month of October, we are going and taking the horses to Lovett High School, Lovett School, and exposing 50 kids to, once again, the horses. We've also participated with the Boy Scouts and Boys and Girls Club. We've also participated with the Jack and Jill programs or within the Metro Atlanta area. So like I said, our goal is to expose as many young people as possible to the benefits of horses. So if there is a school out there or a pastor or organization that wants to bring horses healing to Hood, just give us a call and we'll be able to work something out and show up.
Awesome, awesome. So do you have, is it a barn at the Sofa Ranch where
there is a
they
barn.
sleep there?
Yes, the horses have a barn and stalls where they sleep in. But, well, the horses really don't sleep in their barn. They eat in their barn, and then we let them out because horses are best moving. And so put it like this, a horse is designed to eat 16 hours out of the day.
16 hours.
16 hours.
That was the next question.
Yeah, so they can sit there and just eat hay and grass and just eat. So typically our horses eat twice a day. We feed them in the morning, and then we turn them out, let them eat grass and hay, and then we'll bring them back in, let them eat, and then we'll turn them out again. So throughout the night they may sleep. Horses do sleep standing up, but sometimes a horse may, relax and just sit down and take a nap. But on average, a horse only sleeps 4 to 6 hours out of the day.
Wow, so they're very active creatures.
So yeah, they're active creatures. Yep.
So are the horses at your ranch mateable horses? Do they mate there, or are they all fixed where they won't have any more horses?
They're all fixed, so they won't have any more horses. We don't need any babies. Yeah, babies.
Is this just a whole nother thing?
Yeah, that's just a whole nother thing that we don't want to get ourselves into. So the horses are what we call gilded. The male horses are gilded, and so a male horse that cannot produce any babies is called a gilding. And then we have mares. Now the mares on our property, they can have babies, but at the end of the day, we don't have any studs or stallions out there that can impregnate them. So everybody's just running around and being good friends.
And keeping your bills down.
Exactly.
Bringing any extra. So you have how many horses on the ranch?
We have 16 horses on our ranch.
16.
Yes.
So do you have like a group of people to kind of help you keep up with
We have 36 people on our voluntary staff, and so there's a rotation. But then we probably have about 3 or 4 main volunteers that are with us week in, week out, that give us an opportunity to get the horses ready, feed the horses, wash the horses, take the horses riding, leading trail rides, assisting me in equine assisted therapy sessions. So they're on a rotation, and we have a volunteer rotation the first Sunday of every month.
First Sunday. So when the horses are getting a bath, how often does that happen? These are things people actually want to know.
Sure. So a horse gets a bath probably once a week. It's not because what happens with horses, the way they scratch their back is they'll roll over and just get dirty. So in the winter time, we don't use soap. We just basically rinse all the dirt off of them and kind of squeegee the excess water off and let them go about their business. It's in the spring and summer where we use a lot of soap because their coat gets very thick, and so the way horses are designed is that coat can hold moisture, and so we don't want to have them hold moisture. If it drops to 30 degrees, now that horse has icicles on them. So we basically rinse them off, rinse all the dirt off, squeegee them off, and then let them go about their business.
Squeegee them off. So how often do they see a doctor to make sure that they're in good health?
My horses probably see a doctor every 6 months. There are several different vaccines, and so I do a horsemanship 101 class, and so vaccines and doctor visits and vet visits are one of the things that we actually cover in this 8-week course. And so with that, they see a horse biannually for what we call a Coggins report, and then they see a farrier maybe 6 to 8 weeks, every 6 to 8 weeks to trim their hooves and if they need shoes or anything like that. And then if something arises, like I just had a horse that came up with a limp. So we had to take him to the vet and found out he had an abscess in one of his hooves. And so the abscess came from when there's a change in season and there's moisture in the air, and then that moisture can get trapped in the horse's hoof and then create those type of issues.
Well, this may be a far-fetched question.
Sure.
But sometimes when those racehorses get hurt, they end the horse's life.
Correct. Now, that is not 100% true.
Okay.
And the reason why that's not 100% true is because on my ranch, I have 8 retired racehorses.
But were they injured?
They were injured. Most of them were injured. And so it's called OTTB. That is the acronym, and it's called off-the-track thoroughbreds. And so thoroughbreds are the largest group of horses in the world because they are produced at such a high rate. So when you're watching the Kentucky Derby, those horses are anywhere from 1 to 2 years old. They're not that old. So horses grow rapidly. And so with that, because they grow so rapidly and they can only, race for a short amount of time, they are producing horses left and right. I mean, like some horses, they mate like 5 times a day just so that they can
Get a thoroughbred.
just get a nice confirmation on the thoroughbred. And so with that, that was the old way of doing things. Oh, horse breaks his leg, boom, we got to kill him. But the new way of doing things is a lot of therapy. You know, the horse just may, you know, just go out to a ranch and eat grass for the rest of their days. But that particular practice is not done frequently these days.
Well, good, because I wanted to clear that up. Because there's a lot of things about horses that we just don't know.
And that's stuff from like 1920, 1940 that people still apply to today, and that's not necessarily true.
Euthanizing the horses just because it broke it. That just seems so cruel to me. Like, I'm not good for you anymore.
It does seem cruel, but from the standpoint of horses are expensive.
Well, so that was gonna be my last question before we close. About how much does it cost to just take not a thoroughbred, but just a basic horse? How much? About how much? Estimate.
I can't answer that question from the
Generally
standpoint.
speaking.
Okay, so what you want to do is there's two different categories. So if you have land that you can keep your horse on, in the state of Georgia, the rule is 1 acre per horse. Okay. Because you got to have a horse where they can graze.
That's probably not most people, so let's scratch that. We got to take it to a horse farm.
Okay, so if we got to board the horse, you want to budget anywhere from $400 to $600 just to board. We're not talking about feeding. We're not talking about vet bills. Just $400 to $600 just for the horse for someplace to sleep. Feeding them is another $100 to $300 a month if you want to make sure that they're fed properly. And then let's add on another $200 for shoes. Let's on another budgeted $500.
And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that the next time we have you, because I think inquiring minds want to know, because that's the part we don't know.
Yeah.
But thank you so much again for being such a pleasant host and informing us so much. I hope you guys find a horse. If you don't, you can find one at Sofa Ranch. Because the way I'm hearing so far, and we will have him back to talk more about that, it might cost you a little bit if you want to get healed in the hood or otherwise by a horse. So until then, make sure you save your money and come back and see us next time. You've been on The Move with Joanna Ward and Daryl Fletcher. Visit sofaranch.com. Let them pay for it. Just pay them the front end, and then, you'll have the fun without the bill.
Exactly.